you have to understand that it is the most accurate guess that we can do on the basis of the past information. Definitely be very well prepared, and just if you cover these two very well, you are covering 30% of the syllabus, my dear friends. 30% of the paper. Very famous data structures, not just important from GATE perspective but also from interview perspective. Arrays, linked list, stacks, queues, last in first out, first in first out, all those principles. GATE 2019, one question came from pumping lemma, I remember it. Okay, so very good set of topics. Computer networks in general, not just my opinion, but in general in the entire computer science industry, it is considered to be one of the most vast subject. Hey everyone, I welcome you all to your favorite channel. So friends, my name is Aditya Jain, and today I have brought a session on a very frequently asked and very in demand topic, which is how to score high marks, how to score more marks, or specifically high scoring topics in CS and IT for GATE 2025. So guys, as you know that GATE 2025 is very near, okay, and that's why in order for you to help with your preparation, okay, we have just brought a final session around the scoring thing, around the analysis of the marks, topic wise, subject wise for you, so that you can get a good idea about how you can utilize the remaining time in the most efficient manner. And friends, why I have brought this before you? So let me tell you that in GATE 2019, which was my very first GATE attempt when I was in BTech, I secured All India rank 60 in GATE Computer Science, and I was also the city topper with that rank. So I have actually done the same thing, that I have optimized my preparation. I have made sure to understand the pattern, to analyze the paper pattern, and to decide my priorities accordingly. Because friends, I also prepared for a very limited time. Specifically, if I tell you, it was around 6 to 8 months of preparation only. Where people take around a year, I had only 6 to 8 months to prepare. And still I got into the dream college of my choice, which is IIT Bombay, which is one of the highest reputed college in India. So why can't you? Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, what are we going to discuss here? Okay, because we both should be on the very same page. Okay, so the purpose of the presentation or the session is that we need to understand the weightage of the topics. Okay, specifically for GATE, computer science and IT, how the marks is distributed over the years. Okay, we'll understand the pattern, and we'll focus on preparing smart rather than just doing the hard work. Friends, everyone does the hard work, everyone does a lot of preparation, they spend a lot of time preparing, okay, but we need to do a smart preparation. We need to work smarter. Hard work is done by everyone, but the ones who work smarter are the ones who get benefit when there is lack of time. So when there is a very short duration left, we need to work smarter, not just harder. Okay, perfect. And why GATE matters? Because you are appearing for the GATE exam, so this should be very much clear to you, that why are you even appearing for the GATE exam. So friend, postgraduate admissions and PSU recruitments, as I've told you, that GATE exam not just opens the door for academia, but it also helps you with PSU related admissions, okay, PSU related job opportunities. So you will have both the paths, and you can decide which path you want to proceed in. Okay, so ultimately I would like to suggest that just focus on getting the best possible marks, and then rest everything will be handled. You will have lots of opportunities, then you can decide accordingly. But at present, don't worry about what to prioritize, what to do after GATE exam, what if I don't get this college. Don't worry about such queries. Just focus on doing your best and scoring the maximum possible marks. Okay, with that, let's proceed. So first, I have brought before you the general paper pattern, so that we all are on the same page around what to expect in the GATE exam. And guys, I would like to give you a disclaimer beforehand, before we even proceed with today's session, that throughout this session, whatever I am mentioning, it is on the basis of historical data, historical paper patterns. Okay, if just in case something different happens in GATE 2025, you should be all right with it. Okay, so whatever numbers I have brought before you, whatever marks distribution I have brought before today here, okay, you have to understand that it is the most accurate guess that we can do on the basis of the past information. It is not at all guaranteed that everything would be exactly like this. And I hope you are matured enough to understand this. Okay, so you will decide accordingly. Perfect. So what is the distribution of marks and how does a general paper pattern for GATE computer science looks like? Okay, so total marks are 100 marks. So your GATE paper is of 100 marks and then it gets normalized to 1000 by doing some important calculations. But in exam, you have to appear for an test paper which is of 100 marks. Okay, and what will be the various sections within it? So far, the GATE pattern has been that there is a mandatory general aptitude section, okay, where you are given around 15 marks weightage. Out of 100, 15 marks, that makes it approximately, not approximately, exactly 15% of weightage. Okay, so this is by default. This is by default because ultimately GATE exam is about aptitude. Okay, so 15% weightage would be given to general aptitude. What comes under general aptitude? That also I will be discussing as we proceed. Engineering mathematics. This is the second most important highly weightage subject. Okay, maths. And maths are of various types, by the way, but engineering mathematics specifically, around 13 marks, which is making it approximately 13% weightage. Okay, so if we add this up, it comes out to be around 28%. Can you imagine? 28 or consider 30% of the weightage, which is around 1/3 of the weightage, is given to these two. Can you understand that? Can you understand the need to have a good strategy for aptitude and maths preparation? Okay, and then the remaining core subjects contribute to 72% of the paper. Okay, so all your core subjects, depending on which branch you are appearing for, although today we are going to talk about computer science and IT specifically. Okay, perfect. So first, talking about general aptitude. Okay, so that was the pattern that I wanted to share, and here I have given you detailed overview of what sections you can have, what topics you can have around it. Okay, let me tell you, these are just few. Okay, this is not the entire syllabus. You can check out the official syllabus to understand those things. Okay, so first thing, in verbal aptitude we have around say 7 to 8 marks of weightage. So this general aptitude is divided into verbal aptitude and quantitative aptitude, and then your analytical and spatial aptitude. Okay, again, you don't have to worry about these names. Okay, in exam you will be just given a aptitude section with specific number of questions. Okay, so verbal aptitude focuses on the basics of grammar like tenses, articles, adjectives and prepositions. Okay, your vocabulary part comes under the idioms, phrases, word usage in context, and reading comprehension and narrative sequencing contribute to the remaining verbal section. Then comes your quantitative aptitude, which is of around 7 to 8 marks, which consists of these two categories, if you can say. So data interpretation, some graphs, plots, tables and maps are given to you, and you have to develop some insights out of it. So this is how data interpretation questions come. Numerical computation, you have ratios, percentages, logarithms. Okay, then you have mensuration, geometry, probability, permutation and combination, short form for PNC. Okay, so these things you need to be prepared with. And then you have induction, patterns, 2D, 3D, all those things as well. Okay, patterns matching and all such formations. But ultimately I would like to tell you that whatever verbal section you have and whatever aptitude section you have, you should definitely prioritize it during this phase of preparation. Guaranteed 15% marks will come from it. Okay, moving on, engineering mathematics, as I've already told you, approximately 13% weightage here. Here I am dividing it into discrete mathematics, linear algebra, probability and statistics. Again, no hard and fast rule that it will be divided in this proportion, but just to give you an idea about what topics, what major topics you need to be prepared with. Okay, the first is the logic part, propositional, first order logic, sets, relations and functions. They contribute a very huge chunk to the entire maths, which is your discrete maths. Graph theory, you have connectivity, matching, coloring. Graph coloring is a very well known problem in industry. Okay, and then you have combinatorics, which is counting, recurrence relations, generating functions, and all these come under this category. Moving on, we have linear algebra of approximately on an average 3 marks. Here comes matrices, determinants, eigenvalues, LU decomposition. Okay, then you have one of the most advanced concepts of maths, which is calculus. Here you have limits, maxima, minima, mean value theorem and integration. So calculus deals with differentiation, integration, okay, all those things combined. And then you have probability and statistics for approximately 2 marks, okay, and your normal, Poisson and exponential distributions. Very, very famous Bayes theorem, okay, the conditional probability part, median, mode, mean, the statistics part of it. Okay, so definitely be very well prepared. And just if you cover these two very well, you are covering 30% of the syllabus, my dear friends. 30% of the paper is coming from these sections. Just to give you motivation, I myself scored nearly 100% marks in both of these sections, which helped me score 77.33 marks out of 100 in GATE Computer Science 2019. 77.33 marks was my final score, and I secured almost 100% score in these two subjects. So can you relate that if you perform very good at these subjects, that gives you an extra edge? It might sound very funny, but if you just score 100% marks in aptitude and maths, mostly you will be clearing the cutoff as well for the GATE exam. Are you understanding? The cutoff can be cleared if you just score 100% marks in these two subjects. Forget remaining subjects. That is for rank building. Okay, so you can understand the importance. Moving ahead, going to discrete mathematics. Okay, so as I told you, okay, this is part of the core topics, this part. Okay, so your propositional logic and relation functions, these things I have already mentioned, the maths part. Then coming to digital logic, so you can expect around approximately on an average 6 marks if you consider the previous papers. Here comes your Boolean algebra, combinational and sequential circuits. Okay, very, very important. Your minimization techniques, okay, your K maps, okay, then number representation, fixed and floating point arithmetic. One of the very important topic for GATE computer science. Okay, never miss this number representation topic. Okay, very easy. By the way, this you can consider as one of the easiest subjects available out there. I can tell you that from my experience. Okay, this is very, very high scoring subject in GATE computer science. Moving on to computer organization and architecture. Okay, of approximately 8 marks. Okay, now dear friends, to be very honest with you, this is one of the rank deciding subjects. Okay, why I say so? Because the ones who score good in these topics, in this subject, are the ones who are likely to get a good rank as well. Why? Because many people struggle with this. Personally, I myself was one of those students who used to struggle with this subject. If I'm not wrong, I have studied this around 6 to 7 times during my preparation to get comfortable with this. Okay, so imagine even the toppers find it hard to score here. And if you score well, that gives you an extra edge over remaining people. Okay, it's not a tough subject, it's just that It is not that intuitive for some people, and that's why you have a good edge here. You have a good opportunity here to get yourself ahead in the journey. Okay. The key topics here is instruction set at its architecture, machine instructions addressing modes, very famous. Okay. Pipeline and pipeline hazards, again very famous topic. Memory hierarchy, cache memory, main memory, and virtual memory, super important. I can't tell you how important each of these topics are. IO interfaces, interrupts, DMA modes. Okay, and my tip for this subject would be that focus on diagrams and numericals. Okay, so this subject is very heavy on numericals. Lots of numericals, data related questions come from this topic. Okay, so you please focus on them even when you are preparing. Okay, try to focus on the concepts which you know are very likely to give you a numerical on it. Okay, that should be your focus. So net these are the topics that you can focus upon. Okay, okay, so moving on to the next subject, we have programming and data structures. Okay, although these are two separate subjects, okay, like when you study them, but you can consider them as very much related to each other. Okay, and that's why I have brought a single slide for this. Again, just look at the weightage. 15% marks weightage on an average from these two subjects. Okay, and if you are good at programming, if you are good at just computer science related programming, this is a very high scoring subject for you. I can guarantee you that. I used to be very good at this. Okay, and this gave me that extra edge to score higher marks in GATE exam. Okay, so programming part, the C programming basics, like the syntax, the recursion, and the debugging related questions. So you know, right? They give you certain code and they ask you detect what would be the output or what would be the error in this code. So, and such types of questions. Okay. Then you have data structures, very famous data structures, not just important from GATE perspective, but also from interview perspective. Arrays, linked list, stacks, queues, last in first out, all those principles. In trees, you have binary trees, BSTs, heaps. What are BSTs? Binary search trees. Okay. Then you have graphs where BFS traversal, breadth first search traversal, DFS, depth first search traversal, minimum spanning tree, MST. Although I have written it within data structures, but I myself being an algorithm instructor, okay, algorithm teacher, I cover these in algorithms subject. Okay, so this is one of the most interesting and one of my favorite topics to teach people. Okay, because this is very important. You can just go through the previous year question papers and you will find a very high weightage for this topic. Moving on to my personal favorite subject, algorithms, because my dear friends, I teach this subject, so I can tell you how important and useful this is. Okay, so although I've written here approximately 7 marks, but you can consider 7 to 10 marks because indirectly few questions from data structures are very much linked to algorithms. Okay, so programming, data structures, and algorithms, these three subjects together, I can't even tell you how important it is. Okay, and the advantage is that if you are from coding background, these three are very high scoring, and not just that, it is very important for your career in general. So it's a very win-win situation to be good at these subjects. Okay, so talking about it, here you have sorting and searching algorithms. Okay, Although I have just mentioned quick and merge sort, but here you have your bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, quick sort, merge sort. Okay, these are few sorting techniques. Heap sort. Okay, complexity analysis. What is the asymptotic worst case time complexity, space time complexity? Okay, best case complexity. What are various asymptotic notations, big O notations, small notations, big omega, small omega, theta notation. Lots of questions gets framed on this topic. Okay, then we have various design techniques like greedy methods. So greedy methods, within greedy methods you have spanning tree. Okay, minimum cost spanning tree, for which we have Prim's and Kruskal. Not just that, you have optimal merge patterns, you have Huffman encoding. Okay, you have lots of interesting questions get framed on greedy topic. You have job sequencing with deadline, you have fractional knapsack problem. Okay, the list doesn't end. Then you have the one and only dynamic programming. It is very famous for solving optimization problems. So here you have your binary knapsack, which is also called 0-1 knapsack. You have longest common subsequence problem, you have sum of subsets problem, you have this one and only matrix chain multiplication problem. Okay, you have sum of subset problem. Okay, lots of questions can come from this topic as well. And talking about graphs side of it, okay, so in dynamic programming you have traveling salesman problem, you have multi-stage graph. Okay, then all pair shortest path problem, which is your Floyd-Warshall algorithm, and you have single source shortest path problem, for which greedy has Dijkstra algorithm, single source shortest path Dijkstra, which is based on greedy, and dynamic programming has something called Bellman-Ford algorithm. Okay, this makes it very important. And then you have divide and conquer techniques. Okay, so divide and conquer is one of the most frequently asked topics, where you have binary search, where you have min-max algorithm, you have merge sort, quick sort, you have matrix multiplication. Okay, so just focus a lot and you will get lots of good questions and good marks from this. Let me tell you, this is one of those subjects that if you genuinely prepare well, you will get very great marks. Again, I secured almost 100% marks in these topics. Okay, just to inspire you why you need to prepare well, in the entire GATE exam I only got a negative marking of minus 0.66 in the entire paper. So I'm not under 100 rank holder just because I solved many questions. I solved good amount of questions, but with very high accuracy. Lots of people solved more questions than me, but their accuracy was not good. They had a negative marking of -7, -8. Okay, and that brings their rank very down, even though they have solved more questions than me. So accuracy plays a very important role, my dear friends. Okay, I am giving you myself as an example so that you can focus on accuracy. Moving on to the next subject, we have theory of computation, short form TOC. Okay, approximately for 6 marks on an average. Here you have finite automata theory, regular expressions, RE, pumping lemma. GATE 2019, one question came from pumping lemma, I remember it. Okay, so very good set of topics. Then you have CFG, context free grammar, push down automata. I can't even tell you how important these concepts are for TOC. Okay, then Turing machines, decidability and undecidability. Again, I have just named very few topics. Please don't think that I'm giving you the entire syllabus. That's not the case. I'm just giving you few topics which I believe are something that you can focus on. Okay. Moving on to compiler design. Now many people link TOC with compiler design because both are quite related topics. Okay, like you should be good at TOC to understand compiler design. That's the case. So it carries 4 marks approximately, but it is one of the most return on investment kind of a subject. It will give you highest return on investment. Okay, because even though marks are 4 marks, the subject is the smallest. It is the smallest subject in the entire GATE exam. Okay, so you can think like that. So here you have lexical analysis, syntax analysis, or parsing. Okay, runtime environments, intermediate code generation, what code gets generated, optimization techniques like constant propagation, dead code elimination. Very good subject. Okay, moving on to a very interesting subject, operating systems or OS. So Windows operating system, Mac operating system, this is the base of all those systems. Okay, approximately 9 marks. Okay, but it can definitely be more than this as well. So here you have processes, threads, and system calls. Theory questions gets framed from here. Synchronization, semaphores, monitors, very frequently asked semaphore mechanisms. Okay, then you have deadlocks, detection, avoidance, and prevention. Deadlock, I need not tell you how important this topic is. Deadlock detection, deadlock prevention, and avoidance. Memory management, paging, segmentation, virtual memory, multi-level paging. Very, very frequently asked topics. Okay, file systems, disk scheduling algorithm. Okay, your FIFO, LIFO, all those things, and lots of other techniques that you already know. Okay, so these are again some of the topics that you can prioritize, not the only topic. Let me tell you, this is not the only topics, but few topics that I have mentioned that are important according to me. Okay, moving on to another very easy, I would say easy because it is very much easy to understand once you have a good hold. So databases, approximately 7 marks on an average. Here you have ER model, you have relational model, integrity constraints. My dear friends, this subject is not just for GATE. This is for a lifelong career in computer science. Okay, databases, database management, DBMS management systems. Okay, then SQL. Okay, here you have queries, nested queries, joins. I still use, like when I upskill people in data science, when I myself upskilled myself in data science, SQL was like day-to-day use case thing for me. So please study this very well. Okay, then you have transactions, concurrency control, recovery, and finally indexing using B and B plus trees. Okay, so please have a good hold of these subjects. Moving on to one of the very vast subject. Okay, computer networks in general, not just my opinion, but in general in the entire computer science industry, it is considered to be one of the most vast subject. But let me tell you, it is this functionality that it makes the second highest rank decider subject. So I told you, computer architecture and organization and computer networks, these two subjects are usually the ones that students struggle with. Usually, not everyone, some people, most people. But if you score well, it gives you a very high speeding ticket to your career, to your GATE exam rank. Okay, so OSI and TCP IP controls, protocols, layers, addressing, IPv4, CIDR. Okay, you have multiple layers in computer networks. Okay, physical layer, all those things. Then routing algorithms like shortest path, flooding, link state. I need not tell you how important. Then you have transport layer, UDP, TCP, flow and congestion control. Lots of questions gets framed on this topic. And you have application layer like DNS, SMTP, HTTP, FTP, file transfer protocol. Okay, hypertext. Okay, all these things very important. Then my dear friends, this was all about the various subjects. Now I would like to conclude this session by just sharing few important preparation tips because it's a very high time and you need to be very focused. So prioritize high weightage topics like programming, algorithms, OS, CN, and COA. Again, a disclaimer, I'm not asking you to only focus on these. Understand? I am asking you that you need to prioritize high weightage subjects and whatever you feel like. Okay, because it's not the time that you should grab everything. You should have a very good strategy. So please prepare accordingly, whatever your plan is. These are just suggestions from my end. Okay, then daily routine, For 3 to 4 hours, focus on core topics. Okay. For 1 hour, you can focus on aptitude and maths. As I told you, separate sections here, so definitely a high weightage. Then practice mock test weekly, analyze and work on weak areas. Instead of weekly, I would suggest you around 3 times a week. Okay, because now there is a very less time available to you. I would suggest appear for mock test as much as possible. Join a good test series and test your knowledge, test your skills around there, and use previous year papers to identify trends. So whatever trends I have given you here, the topics, it was also an amalgamation of past year's paper itself. Okay, so you can refer to this along with it. And with this, my dear friends, I would like to conclude this session. I hope it was useful. I tried my best to give you a very good analysis of what you can expect, what you can prioritize to prepare smarter, not just harder. Okay. So with this, my name is Aditya Jain and I would like to conclude today's session. Wish you all the very best. Goodbye.